Good day, everybody. This is Yin Yang in California with Morsels of a Thought number 1750. Morsels of a Thought of Wisdom. Hopefully, that we learn the right things to do because knowing the right things to do is having a form of wisdom. And then actually taking action to do it is virtue. We're bringing more virtue into the world merely with morsels of a thought every day since 1750 days ago. Where is the book we're reading today? We are reading from Dr. Brody Miller, Ph.D., who understands the brain. He wrote the book Brain Rescue, a 90-day blueprint to reclaim your memory after a brain injury or concussion. We are on page 182. The step, okay. I think we are on page 182. Yes. Uh, there we go. Yeah. Chapter 10, the seventh pillar, D is for dedicate. So, DEDICATE. The second step is E for educate. Nelson Mandela said, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. It's time to educate yourself and identify as a lifelong learner. The word educate is derived from the Latin educo, meaning to educe, to draw out, to develop from within. In other words, you must first have the internal desire to educate yourself and then act upon that. This quote, missing link, end quote, of today's educational system is how they fail to teach students how to organize and use knowledge after they acquire it. I'll tell you straight up, says the author, one of the biggest turning points in my own recovery was when I stopped acting like I had all the answers and started chasing knowledge like my life depended on it, because it did. I remember hearing Tom Bilyeu, Bilyeu, from Impact Theory, capital I, capital T, screaming at the top of his lungs, be the learner! Over and over. I am the learner! I started repeating it myself. Be the learner! I am the learner! Yeah. This auto-suggestion sunk deep into my subconscious mind. That wasn't just some feel-good mantra. It was a demand to never stop growing, to never stop pushing my mind. And you know what? It worked. I don't even think about it now because I know that I am a lifelong learner, and man, has it paid off. I used to think I was ooh, I used to think I was stupid, just a college dropout who would never amount to anything. Now I am a learner and genius. Once again, for the 100th time, all behavior is identity-based. You can do the same. Repeat these words or other affirmations as many times as necessary. It's all about mindset, my friend. Make learning a lifestyle. Make learning a lifestyle. Stay curious and watch how your memory expands. Now, think about this. Every piece of information you consume is a building block for your future. It's not just about memory, it's about empowerment. The more you learn, the more tools you have to face life's challenges. You become better equipped to adapt and overcome obstacles. You'll start to see the world differently, understanding the deeper connections between things, which only enhances your cognitive abilities. You have the power to redefine yourself through knowledge. With every book you read, every lesson you learn, you're not just filling your brain, you're laying the foundation for a future that's brighter and more fulfilling than you ever thought possible. Now, in my show, this completely aligns because we are redefining ourselves with morsels of the thought of wisdom daily, day by day. We learn more and more of the right things that we can do to make the world a virtuous place that we can do. So when we do it, then we are bringing in virtue. If we don't do it, then we're actually not using that knowledge, and it's as though we never had that knowledge in the first place, say some very famous people, actually. So the author says, get obsessed with it. Stay curious, stay hungry, and you'll be unstoppable. That's how you make sure your memory, your mind, and your life don't just survive, but thrive. Now, go put in the work. Dedicate to educate yourself every day. Make this part of your mission and watch how your entire world changes for the better. Action step. Dedicate yourself to learning 5 minutes minimum of daily learning, whether that is reading, listening to a podcast, or a YouTube video. Whatever is your preferred learning style. If you learn every day for 5 minutes, that is over 30 hours of learning in a year. That adds up. Imagine how much sharper your memory and skills will be because learning is neuroplasticity in action. Now, if you are on my YouTube channel, please like and subscribe and share my videos, especially when you like the topic of that certain day of the week. And let your friends know that if they only like one topic, they go there, find my morsels of a thought number, and add and subtract 7 to go left and right. It's like turning a volume knob, except it's like the little click, 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 7 days. Every 7 days, I will read the same thing that I am choosing for the topic of that day of the week. Friday, we do Brain Rescue, a 90-day blueprint to reclaim your memory after a brain injury or concussion. See, I said it without looking at it. Not that it makes a difference to you guys. Napoleon Hill. The third step is D for decide in DEDICATE. The third step is D for decide. Successful people make decisions quickly and change them very slowly. Unsuccessful people make decisions very slowly and change them often and quickly. That's by Napoleon Hill. Truly, that is really what happens. I have experienced it in my own life. When you are indecisive, things fall into chaos. But when you are decisive and you take your mail and hold it over the recycling bin while you look through which ones you want to open up and read, then you have an organized beginning in terms of the inputs into your life. If avoid distractions. That's Ying talking. Now, the author says this next step, the third step is D for decide. This next step to your long term recovery is firmly to decide to dedicate yourself to a long term recovery. Sounds simple enough, right? But let me tell you, this is where most people get stuck. People have the horrible habit of being indecisive, thinking that that will help them make better choices if they just wait, analyze, and overthink. Wrong. Second guessing every move leads to a state of analysis paralysis. You freeze up, and inaction destroys progress. In life, you're going to make mistakes. There's no escaping that. But here's the thing, you can get into the habit of making decisions quickly and with conviction to build momentum. And guess what? Momentum is the real key to success, not perfection. The power of micro decisions. Each day is made up of thousands of micro decisions that either move you closer to or further from your recovery goals. Each micro decision on its own makes no tangible difference in your life, but long term, all of them collectively make a gigantic difference in the quality of your life. Most people think short term and choose whatever is easiest and least painful in the moment. But 99% of the time, what feels easy and comfortable in the short term is bad for you in the long term. On the flip side, what is hard and uncomfortable in the short term is good in the long run for you. The good news is you are 100% in control of making better decisions when you train yourself just do it. Let's take diet and exercise for example. Diet and exercise is how I started on this podcast because I was uh, introduced to this Facebook thing by Duck Vong, who had that group called the Dr. V's Weight Loss Challenge, Leap Year Challenge, Weight Loss Challenge. And it's still there somewhere, locked up. And the group is still around, and maybe he will revive it or something. But that was where I got my beginning, and he prompted me and others to go and start a podcast every day, one time a day for 30 days straight, which I did in January of 2021. And I did 30 days in January because I started on January 2nd, and January has 31 days. But once I did, I kept going. And that is how we are on page Morsels of a Thought number 1750 today. Let's take diet and exercise, for example. This author says every meal you eat, every choice to be active, and even how much you decide to eat might seem insignificant on their own, but together, these small choices create a powerful momentum. Choosing wholesome, nutrient dense foods in satisfying but reasonable portions can support your energy and mental clarity while avoiding the habit of overeating. Helps keep you feeling lighter and more focused. Choosing wholesome, nutrient dense foods. If you skip one workout or choose an unhealthy meal now and then, it might feel like no big deal. However, if this becomes a pattern, those choices can lead to a lack of progress or even setbacks in your recovery. On the other hand, consistently making a choice to nourish your body with balanced portions and prioritize movement, even on days when you don't feel like it, builds resilience and supports brain health over time. Now, I will tell you that yesterday, I really didn't feel like it, but I came on time, more or less. That was why you waited for me yesterday. The brain, science of decisions. Now we're going to. Decisiveness is crucial for improving memory. Decisiveness is crucial for improving memory. Every time you make a decision, you are training your brain. Every decision you make fires up new neural connections, strengthening your brain's capacity for memory and learning. What happens when you constantly second guess yourself? Your brain stays stuck in disempowering patterns. You're not giving it a chance to grow and learn. Quote, mistakes, end quote, are the brain's way of learning. Our amazing cerebellum plays the role as our brain's error detection and correction mechanism. Think of the day that you learned to ride the bike once again. Think you fell and fell until your brain was like, wow. The cerebellum says, oh, well, we messed up a few things, but now we got this. The same is true as when a baby eagle is learning to fly. If it doesn't learn to fly, it will die. It has to have the courage to fail a few times until one day it soars. The same is true for you. Now, we are reading Brain Rescue, a 90-day blueprint to reclaim your memory after a brain injury or concussion. You are not defined by what happens to you, but by how you respond to life's inevitable challenges. Morsels of a thought of wisdom, hopefully that we learn something right to do. Okay, train yourself to be more decisive and trusting, regardless if you, quote, fail, end quote. Every choice you make, no matter how small, is an opportunity to create the person that you want to become. By making decisions quickly and confidently, you're forcing your brain to adapt. Now, I will say that when you are running, you're going to fall every so often. But if you are walking, you are more steady in your step and are less likely to fall. So, when you want to learn something, slow down your pace a little bit. By making decisions quickly and confidently, says the author, you're forcing your brain to adapt, to learn from consequences, and ultimately to get stronger. And let me tell you something else. Quote, mistakes are the best teachers. Quote, mistakes, end quote, are the best teachers. You're going to make wrong calls along the way. That's a given. But the faster you make those mistakes, the faster you can grow and learn. Mistakes aren't failures, they're stepping stones. It took Thomas Edison countless hours of trials with the light bulb before he succeeded. He is quoted as saying, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. Accept that fact and apply it to your brain health recovery process. Dr. Brody. Dr. Bro says, I'm not saying to throw logic out the window completely. Balance is key. There are times when you need to slow down, assess, and weigh your options. Even he says the same thing I just said. I'm actually agreeing with him versus him agreeing with me. Just jumped in there and said it. But he says, don't let that become your default. The worst thing you can do is sit around paralyzed by indecision, afraid of making the wrong choice. Inaction will keep you exactly where you are. In life, you are going to make, quote, bad decisions. You will make mistakes, end quote. There is no way of getting out of that. But get in the habit of making them quickly and with a firm belief. I get it. Decision fatigue is real and it's brutal. The more decisions you leave lingering in your mind, the more energy you waste. Start making swift decisions and watch how much mental energy you free up. That's energy you can use. That's energy you can then use to push your recovery forward, to focus on strengthening your brain and sharpening your memory. Another book says that your brain is your sword, sharpening your sword, sharpening your memory, sharpening your sword is a way of dealing with life properly. Okay. Action step, says Brody Miller, Ph.D. Start small. Start by making one fast decision every day. Maybe it's about your recovery routine. Maybe it's about a habit you want to drop or a new strategy you want to try. Whatever it is, decide quickly and stick with it. See what happens when you commit. Your long-term recovery is waiting for you, but it all starts with deciding to go all in. Decide to be great. Decide to become unstoppable. Decide that you are worthy. Decide that you are going to win. Decide that you are going to stop making excuses. Decide that you are going to create an awesome life. No more hesitating. No more overthinking. Just bold, confident action. And that's how you win this fight. Trust in yourself. You've got this, warrior, with a capital W. Same thing as the other gentleman says, warrior, samurai, warrior. Now, says Dr. Bro, get out there and dedicate yourself to become a better decision maker and let your recovery take off like never before. The fourth step in dedicate is I for integrate. Dr. Simon Schultz, with a TZ at the end, says the ability of the brain to integrate information is the foundation of learning and adaptation. It starts when you're very little. You have an urge to learn when you are a fine little child. Starts when you're very little, as well as now. Dedicate to integrate all that you learn. Integration is our brain's process of converting short-term memories into long-term memories. When we learn new information or movements, we need to integrate them. Integrate them. We spoke about the importance of processing speed. The final step of the learning and converting memories into long-term storage is through integration. The steps look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Arrival, processing, integration, and storage. Number 1, arrival. New sensory info arrives to our brain. Number 2, processing. Our brain processes what comes to us. Number 3, integration. Our brain fully integrates things. Number 4, storage. The learnings are stored away for later use. Now there is a parallel to what Dr. Bro says by a friar from the Catholic Church. He came to our shelter one time and spoke about observing things. When you see something, you notice it. That's the first part, the arrival. Then you observe it. That's the second part, which is processing. Then you judge it. That's the third part, which is integration. Then you store it. That's the fourth part. That is storage. So I'll read you again. Arrival, processing, integration, and storage. That is how Dr. Brody Miller says it. New sensory information arrives to our brain. Our brain processes what comes to us. Our brain fully integrates things, and the learnings are stored away for future use. You remember everything that you ever had to do in your lifetime. And you can reclaim your memory with this 90-day blueprint after a brain injury or concussion. So we shall see you later. I will begin with page 187 next time. Okay? Old Kinderhook.